Hey guys, it's Frank. Welcome back to my channel. So I don't know if you can tell, but my setup today is a little bit different. I have a laptop in front of me. My Michael Jordan screensaver is gone, and more importantly, I'm using now an external microphone that you can see here because I keep on getting comments from you guys being like,
"But Frank, your microphone is so bad. I keep hearing all these echoes and all these stuff. Why don't you put something on your wall?"
So I decided, like from my previous video, I said that with enough smashes in my videos, I'd use my microphone, or I'd buy a new microphone. So instead of buying one, I decided to use the one that, if you couldn't tell, was always on my desk, that was always unplugged. So there you have it. There's the new microphone. But anyhow, it seems like over the last year and a half, it seems like everyone wants to move out to the west, either in Vancouver or Calgary. And because I want to create more Calgary content for you guys, I was on Google just yesterday, and I was just typing away, doing my own business, and typing in the pros and cons of moving to Calgary. And yeah, I stumbled upon this lovely website called the We Move the World, and they're called Cassidy's Moving and Storage. I figured, what a great video if I were to read this blog about the pros and cons of moving to Calgary. And I'll give my opinion whether or not it's true, it's false, or it's bang on the spot and everything's good. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do for this week's video. I'm gonna be going through this article, the pros and cons of moving to Calgary, and I will be giving you my feedback whether this article is good or not. So to start off, we have the pros of moving to Calgary, and we have let's see what they say. They say for the intro, there are plenty of perks about moving to Calgary. After all, it's been named the world's 5th most livable city by The Economist for 7 years in a row, earning top marks for stability, healthcare, and education. If I think about most livable city, I think of somewhere like in the Bahamas, and some city in the Bahamas, right, would be the most livable city. Not Calgary for the world, but I will give it credit for Calgary. It is, for Canada standards, Calgary does have a pretty livable city for work-life balance. So moving on to number one, we have the pros of moving to Calgary, and that is, they say Calgary is the world's cleanest city. Yeah, I would say in comparison to Toronto, yeah, definitely a lot cleaner than Toronto or Vancouver, but you can't really just say world's cleanest city because with the bigger cities like Vancouver and Toronto, you also have a lot more people living in the city. Even dropping a cigarette butt onto the sidewalk can net you $500 to $1,000 fine. I don't think this is just a Calgary thing. I'm pretty sure this is just anywhere in Canada. You drop garbage in general, there's going to be a fine. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but yeah, I bet it's going to be somewhat similar to that range itself. Number two, low sales tax. One of the nicest things about living in Alberta is that there is no provincial sales tax. If you move to Calgary, you'll only have to pay the 5% federal goods and service tax. Yeah, this is pretty nice. So it's 5% in everywhere in Alberta. Every other part in Canada, like for example, Manitoba at this time is at 12%, and Ontario is at 13%. So yeah, it gets pretty expensive when you're out and about at a restaurant, for example. You can bet your bill is somewhat closer to what you expect. So for $20, you'll see something like $23, $25 out your total, and it's always nice to go out to eat. So yeah, kudos to the 5% tax in Alberta. Number three, as the pros to moving to Calgary, is that you spend less time in bad weather. And straight off the bat, yeah, that doesn't sound right. Calgary has extensive covered skywalk system for pedestrians called the Plus 15 Skywalk. So I disagree. I wouldn't go to Calgary and think, yeah, I can skip out on the winter part by this lovely sky system, unless my office was right beside this building for whatever reason. But for the most part, yeah, you're gonna have to deal with the crappy weather that exists in Calgary at times. Number four, public transit is fairly reliable, environmentally friendly, and affordable. You see, I'll be pretty honest. I don't really take the transit over here because I say Calgary, for the most part, it's a driving city. You could take transit, but you're gonna be, I'm going to imagine it being closer to like Winnipeg, where the buses don't come too frequent. Now, it is nice that the city does have a C train, so that's pretty cool. Number five, as the fifth reason why you should move to Calgary, and that is family doctors are now easier to find than ever. Not much to say here. I guess I wasn't living here during the boom years, but I guess there was a shortage of doctors. But I think nowadays you're not gonna have too much issues, is my guess, finding doctors. Now, I could be wrong because I don't want someone in the comment section being like,
"But Frank, I went to get doctors and I couldn't find one, and you lied. You said that this was super busy, and so.
Number 6, we have lots of stuff to do for the outdoor lovers, and yeah, I agree, guys. Overall, lots of stuff to do outdoors. There's even a app that I recommend you guys download if you're moving to Calgary, and it literally lists out all the hiking trails that you can go to, and you can go on it and search by the level of difficulty, how long it is, if you want an amazing view at the end. Number 7, we have Calgary is very close to other destinations. This one, I would say, yeah, this is actually pretty nice because, yeah, they are right. You are 3 hours away from Edmonton, 10 hours from Vancouver, and I haven't traveled from the States from here, but yeah, I guess it's about a 3-hour drive down to the States. Okay, so last but not least, we're gonna look at some of the cons about moving to Calgary, and this is a good transition to my previous video where I made 5 reasons not to move to Calgary. I've said it in my previous video that when I first moved here, this was one of the biggest challenges I had moving to Calgary, and that was finding employment. And you know, I thought given my experience living in Toronto that it'd give me the advantage. But just recognizing that, yeah, unemployment is still pretty high here. For anyone that's interested in moving to Calgary, I do recommend finding work before moving to the city. Number 2, for the cons of not wanting to move to Calgary, it's the crime rates is said to usually be fairly low compared to other Canadian cities. But that said, there's been significant increase. Yeah, I think pretty much crime exists in every Canadian city or just any city in the world in general. But I'm telling you, from what I've experienced in Winnipeg and Toronto, Calgary by far is one of the safest cities that I've lived in. Number 3, traffic can be congested. And yeah, I don't even have to read this to tell you guys that the traffic, okay, maybe for a local it can be bad, but it's not bad at all. If I were to leave right now during rush hour and I want to get, like, I don't know, a burger or something, or get bubble tea, I don't really have this fear of, oh my god, there's so much traffic, it's gonna take me an hour or so to get there. I don't really have that in Calgary. I freely can take my vehicle and leave anytime, and not really be too cautious about the traffic that exists out on the street. If you want my raw, authentic reaction to this, I don't have much to say about this section over here. I don't really suspect this being much of an issue, or it's not big enough news for me to be one of the cons of moving to Calgary. But should this be real, then yeah, it's something for me to learn a little bit more about. So in the final summary, they have should you move to Calgary? And yeah, it's kind of funny. They said, if you have a job lined up, Calgary can be a great city to live in. If not, getting your feet under you could be a challenge. It is a great city if you have a job lined up, because I'm telling you, finding work here, at least from my experience, was one of the most challenging things. I've said it earlier in this video. One of the big things is that I would say overall is that if you're looking to settle, if you're in that stage of your life that you're looking to settle, build a family, you want more space in your home, I'd absolutely would recommend Calgary. But if you're someone that's more in your 20s, you want to try out, you want to experience more, see what's out there in the world, then I personally actually wouldn't recommend Calgary. If you're more in your 20s, I would suggest Vancouver or Toronto. Their overall summary of this being, if you have a job lined up, it's great. Big on outdoors, great. If you want that nightlife, then it's just Montreal, Toronto, or even Vancouver. So there you guys have it. That is my reaction to the pros and cons of moving to Calgary, written by the blog of Cassidy's Moving and Storage Company. This is my first video where I'm doing a combination of screen record and recording on a camera at the time, so bear with me if it seems a little bit shifty or a little bit different, but let me guys know if you guys want me to react to another article or another blog that they have written. But anyhow, with that said, guys, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching and following my millennial journey. I really do appreciate it, and I guess what else can I say? I'll see you guys all in my next video. Peace!